to my not-so-British baking show.
This is my baker's hat.
It does my heart good to know that y'all are enjoying these videos, so thank you so much for watching them. I am so pleased and excited to bring to you another British classic, the pasty. Now, traditionally, these pasties had Cornish beef in them. They're these little pastry parcels stuffed with meat, and the miners would bring them in their little pockets with them when they went to work. So today we're going to make the same hot watercress pastry, but we're going to do a chicken and veggie filling. So it should be real tasty, and hopefully it'll be something that I'll actually eat around the house. Now, pasties is a lovely little mix of a baking and a cooking project all rolled up into one. So because it's kind of both, I don't really have one specific recipe that I'm using. I will say I am, for the most part, using Nancy's hot watercress pastry for the outside, but I did make some adjustments to it, and the filling is completely what vegetables I had, and which is more of a cooking thing. So there's no specific, I used, 100 grams of chicken or, that kind of thing. It's just kind of eyeing it, which that's the fun of cooking. And the difference between cooking and baking is baking, you have to be so very precise with your amounts, whereas cooking, you can just throw it in and really anything will work, especially if it's a vegetable. All vegetables are good, right? All right, we're getting all set up here to make our hot watercress pastry. So I've got a mix of flour here. It's a mix of strong white bread flour as well as just regular old flour. And then we also have some chilled butter. We have some lard, but you gotta do it. Then we have an egg yolk with a little bit of water. And then in this pan over here, we've got water with a teaspoon of salt. So what we're going to do is I'm going to make a little hole here in the flour, and I'm going to plop the yolk in there, and then cover it up, like that. Great. All right, then we're going to cover it up. Like so. Great. Now we're just going to let that sit. And the next thing we're going to do is I'm going to heat up the water, and then I'm going to toss in the lard and the butter, and then I'm going to bring it to a boil. Okay, so I'm going to go do that, and then I'll come back, and then we'll put that mixture into this mixture. Sound good? All right, here we go.
No one makes a pasty like the Cornish, though many others seem to think they can. The thing about a pasty is it's Cornish. The Cornish love a pasty to the man. So if you hanker for a haggis, go to Scotland. You want a bit of rabbit, go to Wales. When there's nothing more pathetic than a garnish, a pasty when you're hungry never fails.
Alright, so while my hot watercress is cooling, I'm going to move on to my filling. So in my mix of vegetables, I have carrots, celery, parsnips, and potato. And I chopped everything up real small. Can you see how little that is? You want it super small because it's going to go inside the pasties. And then I also baked up a bunch of chicken breast. And then I also have it wrapped up because it was making me cry earlier, some shallots. Alright friends, welcome to my stove. So we're going to start by cooking up the vegetables. So I'm going to heat up a knob of butter, which a knob of butter is about, a tablespoon, but all the British call it a knob of butter. So here we go, knob of butter, in we go.
It's in the crimp, the crimp, the crimp, it's in the crimp, the crimp, the crimp, it's in the crimping that leaves a thinking. It's in the crimp, the crimp, the crimp, it's in the crimp, the crimp, the crimp, 'cause no one makes a pasty like the Cornish. 'Tis right, it ain't a real stew unless it's Irish. There ain't no better rhubarb than me nan's.
my vegetables are all soft and good and ready for the next step, which is to add just a little bit of flour to thicken it up a little bit. We just want to get it, get the flour in there to absorb some of those vegetable juices. Okay, just gonna stir that in there. It's just about like a heaping tablespoon of flour. The next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna add a little bit of milk, just a little bit at a time so that we don't get any lumps. Alright, so my vegetable mixture is all ready. As you can see, it's got a little bit of a watery consistency to it. So I'm going to let that cool completely before I add the chicken, because I don't want it to cook the chicken any more than the chicken already is. So my vegetable mixture is cool enough for me to add my chicken into it. And really, I'm just going to add enough chicken so that it looks like a good balance with the vegetables. That's all. No rocket science. Nothing fancy about this. So, we're going to assemble our pasties. Alright, so the first thing you're going to do is roll out your pastry till it's about 2 nickels thick or so. And then take your round object, make sure it fits just right, and using a pizza cutter, you're going to cut out the pastry dough so it's a nice, round, perfect circle. You're going to carefully pick it up and place it onto a piece of parchment paper just so that it's easier to handle. Put about 2 tablespoons or so of the filling in the middle. You're going to wet your finger and wet the edge of just half of the dough. Bring up a side on either end, and then slowly and gently pinch the sides together. And when you're doing this, you really want to press in gently and tightly so that it creates a secure closing on all sides. Once it's fully secure, then you can take the edge of your spoon and do the crimping around the edge. Then carefully pick it up and put it on the tray.
But nothing makes your breath smell more than garlic, especially when you're in your camper van. Alrighty. And no one makes a pizza like a mama. Of squid and chips I'm really not a fan. Yuck. There's nothing quite as tasteless as polenta. So far and muck you throw it down the pan. It's in the crimp, the crimp, the crimp. It's in the crimp, the crimp, the crimp. It's in the crimping that leaves us thinking. It's in the crimp, the crimp, the crimp. It's in the crimp, the crimp, the crimp. 'Cause no one makes a pasty like the Cornish. Take it away, my lover. Oh, la-di-da-di-da, they're taking it too far. There's something quite bizarre in a basket on the bar. La-di-da-di-da, I'll ransom my guitar. 'Cause no one makes a pasty like no one gets the crimping tight, and no one gets the filling right, and they all taste right.
Alright, my first batch of pasties just came out of the oven. They're super nice and crisp and brown, and they look delicious. Now these guys are going to take quite a while to cool, so I'm not going to get to taste them until tomorrow. But I just wanted to give you a preview of the first round of baked cooked pasties. They look gorgeous, and of course, no soggy bottom. Well, today is the next day after making these pasties, and I gotta say, I now know why the miners used to eat them, because these things are invincible. No Tupperware needed for these babies. Yeah, they pack up super nice. Look how perfectly brown and round they are. The crimping even stayed put pretty well. So I'm going to cut into these and take a bite. Oh, perfect. Look at that. The walls of the pastry are nice and thin. No soggy bottom, of course. It smells good too. Perfectly crisp pastry. Really good. Cheers for a delicious, savory parcel pasty.